I did this post yesterday. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to be my ex's caretaker? So this dude up and abandons his family, his spouse and their 3 kids, and now he's sick. He went off, he was some community peen, and now he's caught some STI. And now he's like, look, I need you to take care of me. Plus my kids, they need to see me and get to know me. Yesterday, Kiona says, Burb, you need to tag her and get those screenshots because I'm nosy. And I'm like, I bet. Kalimo was like, me too, but we'll just be nosy just to be moral support. All right, so I did go over there and I was like, you got some screenshots? I need that for research. She made a post for me just to be able to see the screenshot. So this says, update, I don't want kids, I still want you. That's the name of the title. She names this person Redhead. It says, honestly, we should just go our separate ways. You wanted to have fun and no responsibilities. Look what it got you. And I simply don't trust you. $30 in 3 years and you're acting like you sent me the world. I simply can't deal with it. And he says, fine, if that's what will make you happy. I love you. Goodbye. And she says, I can't say what will make me happy at this point without being culpable. You have done so much damage that you just can't undo. I'm not going to force the kids to be side characters in this mummer's farce. He says, fine, I still need you, though. So she's like, I'm not going to make the kids do this. And he's like, but I need you. Who cares what you need? You don't get to say that anymore. You up and abandon your family. F you. This is what you deserve. But this is all that she gave me. But I figured I needed to update y'all because this is what she gave me. Kiona asked, I went, and she gave me this. So this is all I got, and I shared. Let me know what you think. The dating scene is hard for guys, but this particular dude had a date secured, and then he decided that he was going to cross boundaries and do some kind of prank to this woman who had already decided to go out with him. But let's go ahead and get into this. It's not a very long post, but we got to talk about this stuff. Many of these dudes make it so they're going to remain lonelier. And they deserve it, honestly. So this woman posted last night in the Am I Overreacting subreddit saying, he scared my cats, so I called off the date night. Am I overreacting? All right, so she's 31, he's 32. She says, am I overreacting? I had a date night plan with a guy that I had a date with a few times. This is the first time I have invited him to my place to pick me up. When I text him my address and info, I asked if he could just text me when he's here, as knocking really scares my cats. I never have people over, so I figured there's no reason to stress out both of my cats when his presence alone is already going to be scary for them. He laughed and said, okay. About 45 minutes later, I was ready and waiting, and I heard a loud thudding on my door. It was as if the police and the FBI were both out there and I had committed the worst crime in history. I was terrified. So were my cats. When I peeked through the door, it was him. Immediately infuriated and heart still pounding, I didn't answer. I stood there so confused. He knocked again a few moments later, this time normally. I opened the door visibly irritated. I admit I said, what the F? I asked you not to knock at all. He immediately became defensive and said he thought it would be funny. I told him I'd rather stay in tonight and I'll see him another time. He was taken back by that, but left. I later get a text from him insinuating I was overreacting and he is upset I canceled, all because he scared my cats. I'm thinking of never seeing him again. This is Darvo in action. This right here, what this man did is Darvo in action. First of all, DARVO stands for Deny, Attack, Reverse Victim Offender. And this is the perfect example of this. This man did something that he was not supposed to do. He knocked when he wasn't supposed to. And he knocked to the point where he scared her and the cats. That is out of pocket. He should have just apologized. Well, number one, he shouldn't have done it. But instead of just saying, I apologize, that was really wrong and uncalled for, he decided to reverse it. He is now offended like she did something wrong and calling things off. He said, You overreacted. You're the one that's wrong here. That is reversing victim and offender. So now he's sitting up here trying to confuse the situation as if knocking loudly when he wasn't supposed to was perfectly normal, and she's the one that was wrong. This is Darvo in action. And the reason why I periodically just stop right there and talk about these examples is because these are the types of manipulation tactics that these dudes will do to keep you confused and off kilter so that they can get their way. So yes, this woman should have called off the date. And I definitely believe that she should not see him again, because if he's doing this in the early stages, this is when they should be on their best behavior, because it's only going to go downhill after that. If he can't honor a boundary, she said, do not do this, and he crosses the line immediately, he's going to always be crossing the line and try to push past that to make her uncomfortable. This is not a person that you want to even stress about or give any more of your your time, energy, or resources. She did the right thing. You let me know what you think. I'm gonna check out some of these comments. OK Law says he sounds like a real a-hole. And then the OP says, that's the weird thing. He is so nice. It was almost like a small maniacal side of him peeking out. I was actually really freaked out. And then Minnie Burden says that was him seeing what he can get away with. The fact that he got defensive instead of just saying he was sorry when he deliberately ignored your instructions because it was funny says all you need to know about him. The nice guy act was just that, an act. Find someone else and save yourself a headache. Exactly. Like, this dude is going to be a walking headache. Elle the Bell says her boundaries, plus apparently he hates cats, which means OP, please, for their sake and yours, find someone else to date. Sid Invincible says no, he did it on purpose. Block him and call it a learning experience. Just his ignoring the simple request of don't knock should have been enough. Doing it so loudly that it startled you and the cats on purpose, and then saying you overreacted. F that dude. Imaginary Area says trust your gut. Affectionate Bite said he seemed nice and now he's testing the waters. This is who he is. This is a great comment right here. A Wall SoCal says, that's a psycho for you. They come across really nice because they have to fool you. They're skilled at reading your emotions and mirroring them back. You don't know the guy long enough to determine that he's so nice. He's just acting that way. Mirroring is something that is really important for you to know and understand. They look at you, they see kind of like what you like. They ask you a lot of questions about yourself. They want to know what you like so that they can try to put that on, but the mask can only stay up for so long. And so when you start to see glimpses of who they really are, when the mask falls, that is who they are once they are done trying to just act. So this was a really good comment and something that we really need to talk about more. Mirroring is a thing. When you give away too much information, the things that you like, the what you're looking for in a mate and all of that is like, cool. They are taking they're taking mental notes so that they can try to be that person for you until they feel that they have their hooks in you, and then they can drop the act. Query Tech Sec says that's a side of him that hasn't yet come out because he has so far been on his best behavior. It's him just as much as the rest of it, so be warned. Sinvisible says also do a little Googling about narcissistic sociopaths. Fits the bill. And at the bottom, this person just gives a bunch of red flags. All right, y'all. Like I said, this was just a short one, but I do believe that that was a pretty good lesson. Boundary crossers, the mask falling. Just block these people. Learn how to clock it and block them quicker. Clock it and block it. Do it quickly. Save yourself the stress and the headache. These people need to be lonelier. These people that do all these dumb pranks and jokes need to be lonelier. Make these dudes lonelier. Clock it and block it. I've never seen this subreddit before. Get disciplined. This woman says, I'm making plans to leave my husband. I feel relieved and guilty about it. I was tagged in this post, never seen this subreddit before. But the husband is 33, the wife is 29, so she's still young. She says, I am out of there. Peace out. Women are getting fed up younger and younger. I am seeing that. I've been seeing that across the board. But let's go ahead and get into the story. She says, the straw broke the camel's back last night, and I guiltily feel almost relieved about it. For context, my husband either cannot or will not prioritize me at all. We have been married for almost 8 years. So she got married at 21 years old. She gave all of her 20s to her husband. All right, so she says, we have been married for almost 8 years. I'm not expecting to be treated like a queen, but I want to be treated like I'm actually his partner in life. My husband is a blue-collar worker who works a family business in the construction field. Because it's a family business, there's seemingly no boundary between his work and personal life. It's like he's married to his job. Anniversary trips have been canceled the day before because he needed to work. He couldn't pick me up from surgery because he needed to work last minute. He has canceled every date I've tried to plan in the last 4 years because he suddenly has to work. I gave up a year ago though, etc. It just seems like every time I try to plan something to spend time with him, he suddenly needs to work and cancels on me last minute. I constantly feel like I'm being stood up for prom, but I'm his wife. But it's not as if he only prioritizes work and flakes on his friends. There are much too many examples of how he has been able to make plans with his buddies to meet up and drink beer, smoke cigars, shoot the His friends will call him and invite him on spur-of-the-moment week-long fishing trips, and my husband will leave work immediately to pack and hit the road. But when I wanted to go to a nice restaurant for our anniversary one evening, he told me the night before that I needed to cancel the reservation because he would be working late. It makes me feel like he prioritizes spending time with his friends over me because he'll easily blow off work for them, but he never does for me. I also feel like he prioritizes his goals over mine. He has taken out loans for the family business sake, using our joint money without even talking to me about it first. This has happened 3 times. All through our dating relationship and engagement, he told me he wanted children. This part right here, y'all. After we had been married 4 years ago, I told him I wanted to start trying for a baby. He told me he never wanted kids and he had always been afraid to tell me because he didn't want to lose me. But now I feel like he took away my option. That part right there is so crucial. This is why I talk about these things. These dudes will lie to you about who they are at the foundational level. They will take away consent because they don't give you all of the information that you need to make proper decisions. So when you find out something on down the line about a big lie, you need to leave because he took away that piece of you. He took away, like she wanted to start a family and he said, I lied. I want to be child free. That right there, that should have been enough for her to say, I bet. But he didn't tell her until he really thought that he had his hooks in her. These dudes will wear a mask and like not show who they are for years. And for the people that would say stuff like, you need to vet better. You cannot vet a liar. And if you could, how do you vet somebody like this that says that they want to start a family and then years into it, they like, I lied. How do you vet a liar? Someone who says all of that, weigh in on that piece. How do you vet a liar? I really do appreciate how hard my husband works, but I just wanted to spend time with him and have time made for me, like he'll do for his friends. I have made peace with the fact that I may never be a mother. I'm not sure if I'm being petty about this entire thing, but I feel like he robbed me of my best chance and years for doing it, at the very least. I told him in April that I wanted to get a divorce, and I explained why. But I told him I was willing to do marriage counseling. He told me he wanted to do marriage counseling with our pastor. So we did, and my husband's biggest issue with me is that I'm disorganized. It's true. I have ADHD and often lose things. I'm trying to work on it. My husband also complained about our sex life, but I tried explaining that I'm rarely in the mood because he only ever touches me when he wants to have sex. Never wants to hold hands, hug me, kiss me, etc. So now I cringe when he reaches for me because I know it's only because he wants to have sex. And I think because I was the one asking for the divorce, I was seen as the problem or troublemaker. The pastor was convinced that I had some romantic comedy script in my mind and I wasn't being realistic about what it means to run your own business. I had to work on being more understanding, patient, and lowering my expectations and standards. I feel like all I had been asking for was to be treated like a priority and not an afterthought. But the straw broke the camel's back last night. We have been planning to go on a long weekend trip with my siblings and their spouses this upcoming weekend. 2 days ago, my husband told me he had to work this upcoming weekend and couldn't go on the trip. Never mind that it's non-refundable at this point. I said okay and would see if I could get a friend or a cousin to come with me instead. Then yesterday, he came home all giddy and excited. He told me a buddy of his just called and invited him to a weekend bachelor's party this upcoming weekend. Wow, he's so excited to go. Except the guy he's going to celebrate is someone he has told me he dislikes on multiple occasions. So he canceled going on a weekend trip with myself and my family because he has to work. But he immediately agrees to go on a bachelor's trip for someone he dislikes. Like he literally chose someone he dislikes over his wife. Maybe I'm the one he dislikes. I am not sure if I'm being ridiculous about why I want to leave, but I now no longer care. I'm indescribably unhappy in this marriage, and it's time for me to make a plan and get out. I still feel like I'm young enough that I'm not starting completely over, and I'm very thankful we don't have children. I feel relieved that it's going to end now. I feel guilty for feeling this way, but it's just the truth. She has spoken her truth right there. I'm indescribably unhappy. And she has every reason to be. He doesn't do anything with her. He keeps flaking on her. He doesn't want to do anything with her. He doesn't want to date her. He would rather be at work. He didn't pick her up from surgery. He doesn't take her out for their anniversary. He will go and, have some cigars and beers with his buddies, but he doesn't want to do anything with his wife except get his rocks off periodically. She needs to leave, and I'm glad that she sees it. Vishwa Kali says, remember the Chinese proverb, the longer you stay on the wrong train, the more expensive the journey back becomes. Get off now. You deserve so much better. You are young and will have the family you've always wanted. That is a great proverb. Let's just say that one more time. The longer you stay on the wrong train, the more expensive the journey back becomes. Amazing. That goes perfectly. I'm glad that was the very first comment. Dozes and Mimosa says, yes, you aren't even in your 30s yet. There's still time for you to go and find someone who wants the same things as you. Maybe look into freezing your eggs just so you have the option later on. This is your one life. Please go live it. I will just put right here that I had babies at 33 and 36. 29 is not old at all. It's just that people like to make women feel like they're getting old, like 30s, it's almost over. It's almost over. Please don't let these people really scare you that 30 is old. That's the reason so many women start to get insecure around this time. Cosmo Polite says, you should have left 4 years ago, but the second best time is now. Go on your family trip. Tell your family your situation. Come back and reset your life. You are young enough to recover from this marriage. Meet someone new and start a family. Stay too long and it may be too late for kids. Reputation Week says, and be sure, since you have a joint account, take money out. He did that without asking you, didn't he? Don't leave broke. I'm sorry, but your marriage seems like a real dead end. That last excuse he had, yes, was the final straw and should be an eye-opener for you. Be glad you don't have children yet. You need to have one with someone who is willing to put forth an effort together. I don't think it is him. You are still young. Don't wait. You will be glad you left. Things will get easier for you and you will have less stress and less headaches. Absolutely leave now. The best time would have been 4 years ago. The best time is right now. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And then let's celebrate that so many women are coming to this realization so much quicker. This is titled, My Alcoholic Husband Decided to Leave Me Because I'm Not a Trad Wife. Sounds like this is another man that went down the red pill pipeline and has just blown up his marriage. So this was posted in the marriage subreddit. She says, I don't even know where to start. I've spent years doing everything I could to hold my marriage together with a man who struggles with alcoholism. I've carried the emotional load, kept the house running, taken care of responsibilities he couldn't handle when he was drinking, and tried to love him through the chaos. As I read that very first sentence, I'm like, why do you keep trying to hold on to a person like this when it sounds like he sucks? But okay, we can continue the post. It says, now, after all that, he's telling me he's leaving me because I'm not a traditional wife. Not because of his drinking, not because of the damage addiction has caused, but because I don't fit into his fantasy of a woman who cooks, cleans, submits, and never questions him. All right. It feels like a slap in the face. I stood by him through lies, late nights, broken promises, and endless hurt. I've been patient, forgiving, and way more understanding than I probably should have been. And instead of acknowledging that, he's decided I'm the problem because I won't shrink myself into some 1950s housewife role. All of this, like right here, again, she stood by him through lies, late nights, broken promises, and endless hurt. Like, why do you want to stay with somebody that's like this? I really wish women would get this sense of self-preservation where they don't stick and stay with people who hurt them over and over. Being single is better than this. Being single is better than this. Please keep that mantra in your brain. Stop sticking and staying with people who suck. I'm heartbroken, but also angry. I know I deserve better than this. I know that being abandoned after giving so much is not my failure, but right now it's hard not to feel like all my effort and sacrifice was for nothing. Has anyone else been through something like this? Where you give your all to someone battling addiction only for them to flip the script and make you the reason they're walking away? How did you cope? As I was reading through this last night or this morning or whenever I saw this, I was like, so a man that sucks the life out of you and doesn't treat you well is leaving you. Okay, ma'am, the trash is taking itself out. Why are you crying and sad over a man that doesn't want you? He doesn't want her. Like when women are sitting up here crying over these people that are cheaters, that do terrible things, that aren't supportive, aren't loving, I don't get it. Like, what are you crying over? Why do you want to stick and stay with this? Why do you do so much for people that these people don't even seem like they like their wives? Why are they crying over these people? He said, I'm leaving you. Cool. That means that you draw up the divorce papers and he will sign it right away. Get what you need out of this divorce and start over and heal. Ugh. Start over and heal. Start over and heal. First, get some therapy so that you can figure out what is in you that's so broken that you're willing to stick and stay with somebody who hates you. Global Fact says, help him pack. More Leanna says this, and send him flowers. That's a blessing for your life. You couldn't leave him, but he did it. Great. Your life will be better now. Dry Employee says he's trying to make you carry his baggage and his ego at the same time. Let him walk and take that dead weight with him. Yes, let him take his dead weight. This is not a healthy relationship. At the bottom it says, and don't take him back when he crashes and burns. Ill City says that's the right energy. If he wants to go, let him. You've already carried more than enough weight. Dogs Duck says, I know this hurts, but I'm actually excited for OP. I've read some threads on Ask Women Over 30 about this, and unanimously, their lives are so much better. OP, you are about to get your life back. You're about to get yourself back. And 2 years from now, your only regret will be staying so long. Cold Theory says, you've already carried more than anyone should. None of this is on you. His drinking and twisted idea of a trad wife are his problems, not yours. It's going to hurt, but letting go might be the start of finally having a life where you're loved for who you are. Yes. I hope that people keep coming together with her and giving her a hug and, trying to say, it's going to be okay. Give her a pat on the back or a hug or something and say, it's going to be okay. The Queen Bee says, I'm sorry you're going through this. Men want traditional wives, but can't be traditional husbands. It's pretty ironic. And then here's the OP saying, I get slammed a lot for my modern woman behavior. All of that, when the whole modern woman comes in as a retort or as some commentary for the relationship, you know that they've gone down the red pill pipeline. Now, White Roses says, if a man wants a traditional wife, he needs to behave like a traditional husband. Make all the money and give it to her so the home is her absolute domain, and then live on an allowance. The thing is, when a woman gives up her financial independence for a man like this, she is stuck. I'm glad that this woman did not do all of that. She does not want a traditional marriage in this aspect, because then she will be financially dependent on him and may not be able to leave. This man, if he had that set up, he could just go cheat in peace and still keep her locked down. But she said, this person continues, he wanted to have his cake and eat it too. Wish him luck and tell him not to choke on the icing. The kind of women he claims he wants can do better than a divorced alcoholic dad of 2. You and your kids deserve better. It may not feel like it now, but this is a gift. Okay, Roly effing Disco Polly says, this man is in for a rude awakening. If he wanted a more traditional setup, that could have been a conversation you two had about how to make your marriage ideal and fulfilling for both of you. I know, because I have had that conversation. It went great. We were both respectful and honest, and our marriage is the better for it. Instead of that, he is a disrespectful butthead who is leaving a woman who clearly truly loves him. Marriage to an addict is not for the faint of heart. To pursue something he does not have and probably saw on TikTok, he is an idiot. I'm so sorry you're going through this. Please don't feel like your time and love were wasted. You have grown through this experience, and honestly, it sounds like you are very loyal, and he is doing you a favor. A favor, Lord. I don't know. Favor? That's like savior. I wish you all the best. And she says, I have 2 amazing kids who are the world to me. I still win. I wanted to get to this part from the OP saying he's gotten into listening to Andrew T, the top potato, and Joe Rogan lately. So once again, the red pill is helping keep these dudes lonelier, helping break up relationships. I don't know why these dudes will continue to do this, but that's what is going on. It's turning their brains to mush. So, yep. Like this person says, of course, this is just one more check in his loser column. Sadder but wiser girl says, I will never understand men who tank their long-lasting relationships over Andy Tate. He's chronically single and angry. Why on earth would anyone want relationship advice from him? LOL. That's my thing. These dudes are unhappy. Why are they listening to these angry men with microphones? I don't get it. But this is the reason why women are not submitting. Like, why would I submit to somebody that makes terrible choices? Anyways, I'm going to leave that there. This woman, she will have the chance to heal and put her life back together once this dude has cleared out all of his stuff, and now she can heal and do what she needs to do and build a better life with her and her 2 kids. Let me know what you think. Join the conversation, like, comment, and share. And remember, being single is better than this.
Now, how much does it really cost to do what a stay-at-home parent does? Let's break it down. Private chef for 3 meals a day is 3 hours at $31 an hour. That's $33,852 a year for their domestic labor. Housekeeper for 2 hours a day at $18 an hour. That's $13,104 a year for their domestic labor. Childcare provider for 18 hours a day, not including nighttime wake-ups, at $23 an hour. That's $150,696 a year for their mental, physical, and emotional labor. Driving for pickup, drop off, and errands, 2 hours a day at $20 an hour. That's $14,560 a year. Laundry is about 100 pounds a month at $1.50 a pound. That's $1,800 a year for their domestic labor. Grocery shopper for 2 hours a week, $22 an hour. That's $3,432 an hour just for the physical labor of it. Personal assistant for $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 a year for the mental, clerical, and emotional labor of it. Event planner for birthdays, holidays, and trips, $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year just for the mental load of it. Add 24/7 availability, no sick days, no PTO. That should be a minimum of $25,000 in overtime charges. That's $247,444 a year. That's without a salary, without sick days, and that's without a partner necessarily understanding all the domestic, emotional, and mental labor that she does anyway. Hi, my name's Zach. I'm your favorite mental load coach and recovering man-child. Hi, Zach. I teach men to better understand invisible labor as well as their emotional literacy and fluency. Next time someone calls you just a mom, show them this video. And for the guys that are watching, follow for more tools and strategies that you might be too exhausted to repeat for yourself. Guys, you will learn a lot from being here.